Hey, everybody. I'm so excited. We're here with Madison Malloy. But first, before I bring my amazing guest on, I'm going to go to Facebook because I got to change it to public to the settings. And I have to go there. Whoops. Hold on a second. I got to get out of that. Hold on. How funny is that? Okay. We're there. All right. Hold on for 1 second. I have to refresh it. All right. There we go. Now it's scrolling. All right, there you are. You look so beautiful. All right, we are going to change the setting.
Thank you, dear.
So excited for this, Madison. All right, edit audience, public. This is the fun of going live. You never know what's going to happen. It's so exciting.
Gosh, I know, right? You're always waiting for the people to join, and yeah.
All right. Speaking of which, I want all you guys that are watching and listening to comment. Join us as we're talking about this thing, and I want it to be like interact with us. Ask us anything that you want. Comment in the comment section. That's the fun of going live, as opposed to recording it and then sending it out, right? So, class participation is always fun. All right, so let me start. This is Life on Track, you guys. I love this show. So it's all about helping you get into the driver's seat of your own life. Not my life, not Madison's life, your own life, personally and professionally. And the book, the show was based on the book Work Love that you guys know that I have from 2021. And also, Madison, I was talking about the 80s and 90s before I came on.
Look at my hair. Look at my hair.
2021. And also the 13 Steps to Riches and Creative Visualization. 13 Steps to Riches from Napoleon Hill and Creative Visualization from Shaki Gawain. So excited about this. And before I bring Madison on, I'm going to read her bio because she's amazing and I don't want to leave anything out. All right. Madison Malloy has journeyed from the fast-paced world of Wall Street to the dynamic stages of stand-up comedy and now public speaking, proving that reinvention is not just possible, but powerful. As the host of the podcast Next to Madison, which I've been on, it's amazing. You guys got to check it out. She explores life's big questions, offering insightful conversations with industry leaders, mindset experts, and innovators who redefine success. Madison's unique blend of humor and heart makes her a trusted voice for those seeking both wisdom and a touch of levity. A best-selling author, mindset coach, and creator of the Color Your Way to Abundance journal, which I love, Madison is passionate about helping individuals rewire their minds for success. She has also authored the self-help book, Time to Lighten the F Up, which I love, which combines her signature wit with practical advice to help readers overcome their fears and live more fulfilling lives. Madison's mission is to guide others in breaking through barriers and self-doubt and societal expectations, leading them toward a fulfilling and fearless life. Whether through her podcast, her writing, or her speaking engagements, Madison Malloy is dedicated to helping others unlock their potential and live with purpose. When she's not creating transformative content, Madison enjoys connecting with others, sharing laughs, and proving that with the right mindset, anything is possible. Welcome to Life on Track, Madison.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm a big fan of yours. I'm so honored that you're my friend. And, even though we're in this space, like we still have our own struggles. And as we grow up until the day that we pass on to our next journey, and you've been such an amazing friend, and just you're the person I turn to when I need advice. And I think it's so important to have those people in your life. And for me, that's you.
I love you. I love you. And you know what? We've been on an amazing journey together at this point in life, and we turn to each other. Really. Yeah. There was a certain growth process that you and I have gone through, and we didn't go through it alone. Thank God we had each other, so I love you so much. And you know that.
Likewise.
And you're fabulous at what you do, and you do it in a way. Listen, I love humor. I really believe it's healing. When I had cancer, I believe it was a huge part of the cure because I love being around people that are funny. I loved making light of situations, when I was coaching people in the treatment rooms and stuff like that. It's just people need to laugh. Life is so heavy. And you take that heaviness away in everything that you do.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, laughter is so key. I mean, there's times where you laugh, and then there's the laugh where you're crying. And those don't happen enough But when you get that laugh, when you are literally crying, like there are tears coming out of your eyes, there is no better feeling. I mean, that is like the highest vibration you
Yes.
can be in. And it's
Yeah.
unfortunate we can't always get there, but I try. I try
Yeah.
numerous times. I was like, please make me laugh till I cry.
Right, right, right. And like you said, that is the highest vibration. So
Yeah.
good for the soul. So good for the
Oh
soul.
my
And
God.
people want to be around that energy, like when you can
Yeah.
laugh, to the point where you're laughing, the tears are just pouring out. So let's get into you and how my question for everybody. I did Blog Talk Radio back from 2010 to 2013, summits from 2017 on when they would tell us summits, and then now the TV show. And I always ask forever, how did you get into doing what you're doing and why?
Oh my gosh. Well, that's a long ass story, so I'll try to make it as quick as possible. No, when I was growing up, well, my family was successful in their own rights, but we didn't have everything we wanted. We heard no a lot. We were surrounded by people and that had more than we had, even though we had more than most. But I decided, well, F it, I'm going to be that, and I chased Wall Street, and that was my dream. I was going to get there, and I did. And when I got
Yeah.
there, I realized, holy crap, is this going to be the rest of my life? Like there were good moments, but it just felt so like, ugh, this wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And so from there, I decided to, had a couple steps between, but decided at the end of the day, I wanted to follow my passion and make people laugh. And that brought me so much joy. Plus, some weird stuff would pop out of my mouth, and people would look at me like, have you lost your marbles? But when I said I was a comedian, they were like, that's hilarious. So I said, okay, this is gonna combat my quirky side. To be able to continue to say these funny things and be like, huh? Like the shock value. I definitely had that. And from there, being in entertainment, it always feels like it's going to be quicker and easier than it is. And when you get into it and you realize, holy crap, this is hard. This is going to take forever. I'm so dependent on other people. You're in an environment that just naturally breeds negativity. People are coming from broken backgrounds. They're trying to heal. They're trying to be better, but there's just so much lack, scarcity, all that crap. And if my mindset wasn't what it is today, and I fell victim to that without even knowing, and my language, my thoughts was all about, when it happens, I'll be this. When this happens, I'll be happy. When I get this money, I'll do this. When I become famous, I'll do this. But everything was around lack and scarcity. So I would just continue, just getting by enough. And I all of a sudden was living idolizing other people's lives. I wasn't happy in my own life. I felt like I was almost living to survive, or just counting down the days till God brought me home. And I'm like, oh my God, something has got to change. And it was a rock bottom moment where I thought, like, what is life worth living? And I didn't want to live. And that was a rock bottom, eye-opening moment for me, to where something had to change. And I really started diving into old self-help books I had, and different courses and things. But I realized that until you really want to change, there's no amount of stuff you can listen to, books you can read. You have got to want to change. You have got to realize that you are the creator of your life, and your thoughts, your actions, your decisions, everything has led you to where you are. And if you want to keep getting the same of what you have, keep doing exactly the same. But if you want something different, it is up to you to change everything. And when I finally went on this deep dive, then I decided I have to put this in a book. And so that's what led to the, time to lighten the F up. And I had to make it my raunchy humor, because that was my brand. I was still a comedian at the time, and I was so excited about this. Ended up getting invited to places to speak. And that is where the whole personal development thing, because a lot of my comedian friends will ask me, when did you want to go into this mindset wellness type thing? Like, when did that start? And I said, I never planned it. I didn't. It just, I stepped authentically into my power, into my happiness, into myself. And that's where it evolved to. This whole positivity thing, mindset thing, was never part of the plan. It wasn't part of my plan, but I think it was part
Right.
of God's plan. And
Yeah.
that was my bigger purpose. And that is why I had to go through such dark, horrible, struggling times, was so I could come out and help other people. And I'm authentic because I've been through it. I didn't need a Harvard degree in therapy. I have the best degree ever, which is called real life.
Yes. Yes. Life experience is everything. You want to
It,
talk about
yeah.
credibility? It's everything. You know, when you could say, "Been there, done that. Let me help
Oh
you.
my gosh.
Let me help
Yeah.
you struggle less." You know, with what the School of Hard Knocks. Been there. Let me help you, so you don't have
Best
to go through
school.
it as hard. Yes, yes. And you're so good at everything that you do. You know, and there's so many people right now with the climate of the world that are going through what you went through, that are thinking
Oh,
about like, God, just bring me home.
yeah.
Or, when is this going to end? And, or they're waiting for the other shoe to drop because you never know day to day, according to the 3D, according to the outer world, they're feeding us so much fear and, just like you said, the
Oh,
and
of
scarcity and lack. Huh?
But of course, but once we recognize that
Yes.
that is done on purpose
Yes.
to
Yes. Yeah.
continue controlling the upper echelons, whoever the heck they are. I don't even think it's a government. I think it's above
Probably
that.
fit them all in my living room. Yeah.
Right. To control, to keep you small, to
Yeah.
keep you feeding, to keep you needing. As soon as you recognize that that's what's going on, that's when you can break free from that quote unquote matrix, is what
Yes.
so many people refer to it as. But yeah, I mean, I don't really watch the news unless they put
Me
my
neither.
ass on it.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
I I feel that when I do start to hear the news and it's like, whoa, God, I feel like shit. But
Right.
I also want to say, like, if people are listening to this, like if you're going through a hard time or you feel a little stressed or anxious or depressed, like, don't run away from that. Look at that, change your mindset and your perception on that as a gift. You can
Yeah.
grow when everything is great. You grow in the times of struggles. You're starting to identify what your soul needs to work on, what doesn't make you happy, what does make you happy. So when you feel those, because you're human, we still get depressed. I've been on the phone with you crying my eyes out at times. You grow.
Yes.
You
The
learn
glories in the
something.
valley. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're going through something, embrace it and say, thank you, universe, for allowing me to feel this. So I now can identify what I need to work on.
Yes, and Laura Dean has given you
Hi,
claps,
Laura
clap, clap,
D.
clap. I
Oh,
love,
thank you,
love,
Laura.
love Laura. I love Laura. Life, it's so good to connect with people when we're out and about, and I was just in an
Yeah.
Uber
Okay.
and I was talking to the Uber driver, like I always do. I'm not going to be rude and just sit in the back and say nothing. You ask people about their lives, and how they're
Right.
doing. And long story short, it was Laura's husband who just was doing it just to meet people. And, he was retired and it kept him busy. And
I
she came
love
up
that.
and she's a former model,
Oh my
like
gosh. Well, yeah,
a
look at her
high-end
pictures.
model.
Gorgeous.
And she just, but I'm talking like a high-end model.
Yeah.
And it turned out that she was friends with my good friend Clarissa Burt. So I got on the phone with Clarissa, who's a former supermodel, and she modeled at the same time as Laura in the 80s.
Oh my
And it was a
gosh.
small world. And now Laura and I are friends. We met in Scottsdale in Arizona. And
I
so
love
anyway,
that.
she's giving you a round of applause, and she's
Oh, well, thank
amazing.
you. Thank you, Miss Laura.
So let's get into because I love everything you're saying. And I also want people to check out Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret, because he talks about everything that we're thinking about is literally what we're creating. So
Ugh,
if you're thinking
that
about
I know.
negativity and being down and out and, like, why me? And why is this happening? Like, just like what you do and what you teach people to do now is you're aware of it. You just said it a few minutes ago. Now you're aware of it and you
Ugh.
stop it dead in its tracks. And then you're like, no, I'm not going to entertain those thoughts, because the strangest secret is that we become what we're thinking about the most. So
Well,
for people
yeah,
that,
and I did this, and I think it's a natural human reaction, is sometimes we tend to, by default, think the worst.
yes, yeah,
To feel that we're
protect
gonna
us,
lessen the blow
right,
if we don't get what we want, but in fact, we're just increasing that energy to drive more of not getting what we want. And I used to do this when I'd be interviewing for a big opportunity or an audition or something of that sort. And now that went away, but I still have it creep back up because I'm human and I'm not perfect
yes,
and I never want to be perfect. I
right,
still have it, that voice, that what if, when it comes to romantic relationships. And I'm working so hard still to switch and change that narrative to where it's okay if it doesn't work out. I'm going into this with the hope that it is going to work out, and I'm going to believe it's not going to work out. And for some reason, if it doesn't, that is universe and the God saying, it's not yet. I have something better for you. And that's when we truly can walk away, but also go into it without this fear of what's going to happen when this ends. Why the hell would you start something if you knew it was going to end? You would just be like, well, fuck it, that's going to end. I'm out.
Right. Sooner than later. Yeah. Because sometimes some of us stay in it a little longer than we really have to because it becomes like a habit, and it just becomes the new norm and it's not healthy. But I love what you're saying. We get what we expect, number one. So if you're expecting problems, if you're expecting it's not going to happen, if you're expecting it's going to take a long time, it will, and for women and men out there. But I think women do it more like they're going looking for guys. And, and people say, oh, are you looking for a boyfriend? Are you online looking? And it's like, no, like you will attract it to you because women are receivers. You just attract it to you with the right, mental attitude. Like Napoleon Hill talks about, and that's
I had our mutual friend Cameron on my podcast, and we were talking about goals. Yeah, and the thing that I always love that he is so good about articulating is write out who you need to become to achieve that goal. So, for example, I said, well, let's take it away from money because we're always talking about money. We're always talking about business. Let's turn it into, hey, shit, I'll turn it on myself. Let's turn it into finding my person. Because I made a joke with you on around New Year's. And I said to you, I will be engaged by the end of 2024. And now I'm sitting here going, I don't even want to date. I don't even know who he is. Like, but he goes, well, I'm getting a little nervous. But I said, but I believe this is going to happen. He goes, well, live in the end. Like, who is that person? How do they make you feel? Like, write out who you need to become to attract that person. And I'm like, myself, I'm already, and he goes, okay, well, that's different. If you were saying, I want to manifest $1 million a month, well, you're not manifesting $1 million a month right now. So you need to be different than who you are. So who do you need to become to achieve that goal?
Yes.
And I think it's like we write the steps to achieve the goal, but we don't write of who we need to become, which is the self-image, which Bob Proctor taught, and Neville Goddard.
And all of us.
All of them.
Yeah.
That's the piece that I was missing, and some areas still missing. But majority, I think, which is why we have a 99.1%, economic ratio in the country, and most people are struggling, is because they say, I'll be that person when I get this, when you actually have to become it before you get it. So I want every person that's listening to step into everybody has a secret desire to be an actor. Well, now you can. You're going to become the greatest actor of your life by being that person. Because I remember I would play small. Like, I'd have a podcast. A lot of people would say, well, what do you do? I'd be out in the Hamptons or something like that. And I'd be, I write books and like have a podcast and trying to create shows. And did you hear that energy?
No, very like,
it was low. It was, I don't want to
talk
about this. I don't know if I can cuss on this. Sorry. It's part of my brand. I did write a book with the F word in it 23 times, but you have to be excited, and it's like, okay, I didn't get $125 million deal for my podcast on Spotify like Alex Cooper did. She's amazing. Call her daddy girl. But I need to start acting as if I do have that.
Yes. And also
just feeling it, the confidence. You should check out my podcast. It has changed so many people's lives. I have sat down with people that have changed my life.
Yeah.
And my desire, my purpose of this is when you listen to it, that you've gained something to make your life the best, because we don't want to sit on our deathbed in our 80s or 90s or 100s. If some of us are lucky enough, I don't want to be, because there's not enough Botox to make my forehead freeze. 90s are fine. That you don't want to sit here and say, I wish I would have had the guts to have that conversation. I wish I would have started that business. I wish I would have thought this. I wish I would have done that. Well, it's too late. Now you actually are on your deathbed, because none of us know when our time is up. So if you're on your deathbed, like, what is it that you want to do? Like,
And
let
do
go of
it
that
now.
fear. Do it now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And let's get back to Neville Goddard about living from the result, right? Like,
Yeah.
what do you want? And then who do you need to become to step into those shoes? Right. What is it that you need? Like that, like that's your vision, your ultimate vision. Then the goals along the way are like a ladder leading to that vision. Right. So
Yes.
for you, when you were talking about, relationships and stuff like that, we don't
Finding my
attract
husband by
right,
December 31st.
right. But we don't attract to us what we want. We attract who we are. And I heard a
Yes.
therapist give an
Yes.
exercise to this guy, and she said, I want you to write down everything that you're looking for in a woman. And I want you to write down the things that you need to work on for yourself. So he wrote down all these things that he's looking for in a woman, page after page after page, right? And he just had all of these things that he wanted. And then when it came to him, he was having a struggling because it's like trying to look at the back of your head, like, what do I need to work on? I don't know. It's me. So he just wrote down what he could. So he went to the therapist's office, and the therapist said, okay, let me see the things that you want to work on for yourself. And he said, well, it's just a couple of things. Like the bigger list is what I'm looking for. And she said, I don't need to see the list that you're looking for. What I need for you to do is become that list.
Yeah.
Whatever you're looking for in somebody else, become it. Like if we're attracting emotionally unavailable people, like are we possibly emotionally unavailable? Are we attracting?
But you remember when we met, that's all that would show up for me. Do you remember? We had countless stories where we'd be talking, I'd be lifting at the gym, and we had these countless stories. And then it finally hit me like, maybe I'm the one that's actually emotionally unavailable. Like, wait.
But you know what? You figured it out and you worked on it and you broke that paradigm down. There's so many people that are emotionally unavailable because, again, society will program us to, just doing everything on your own and be independent. And do you really want to go with that? That's a lot of work. And meanwhile, it's like, it's a relationship. It doesn't have to be a lot of work.
It could just be a lot of work if it's the right one.
Right, exactly. I mean, if you're constantly conforming and dimming your light, run. Don't walk, run, and get out of that. But if it's a relationship where it's just about compromise, that's normal. That's two human beings coming together and compromising, and it's just amazing. So yeah, so that's hugely helpful to people in that are looking for a partner, and that goes for men also. Because they have all these expectations, and then they're disappointed, but we all have to look in the mirror, and we can't blame other people. We can't blame the ex, and we can't blame the boss, and that we can't get out there and do these different things because we don't have the time. And we can't constantly blame others, because then we're ripping out our personal power from our chest and handing it over to those people. So you just take responsibility and accountability for where you're at, the results that you have right now, for everybody listening, and then just enjoy the process, enjoy the journey as you're in a constant state of becoming, because it could be fun. It's a choice, right? Everything we do in life is a choice. So choose to make it fun. All right, let's get into your talking points. Love this. Okay. And for everybody listening, feel free to comment and ask any questions that you want. It's a Facebook Live for that reason. All right. So the best advice that you've ever received, Madison?
I would say when I heard the quote, life is happening for you, not to you. And the reason that was the best is it switched me out of a victim mindset to an abundant mindset, that I don't hold on as much anymore to things that didn't work out and question why it didn't work out, what I could have done differently, how I could have done this, why this happened. It's okay. This taught me something. What is the lesson? This happened for my greater good to evolve me. And that was the best thing I'd ever heard, because that switched everything. Because I think a lot of us subconsciously live in a victim mindset without even knowing it.
Yeah.
Thinking, why is this happening? I don't know. And it's when you start to look at it, good or bad, this is happening for my personal development, for my growth, for my better interests, especially when I'm talking to women and men up there. One of the most difficult things is breakups and relationships. And when you realize, like, okay, that person walked away for a reason, that heartbreak taught you something, things become lighter and you don't get as attached to things, which then causes the resistance to push it away.
And I love that. And I think when you do realize that everything truly is happening for you, and I went through a divorce and I was shocked and devastated and
Oh,
heartbroken
yeah.
like I've never been. I mean, I never felt, and I had a lot of stuff, throughout life, not a lot, but when things popped up, they were big, whether it's cancer and different things. Nothing like when I went through the divorce with regard to the pain, because it was emotional, and heartfelt. It wasn't a physical thing. And I couldn't get outside of those thoughts and those feelings. And, it was like 13 years ago. It was a long time ago. But like you said, when I stepped into, and I've known that since the 90s, but it just was like way out in the abyss somewhere because I was so in the thick of my emotions. But when it clicked in again, I'm like, oh my God. And now, literally, when something negative is happening and it's hitting the fan, right? I'm like, okay, I'll get shocked, like get thrown back on my heels, like I had a look through the roof, when we had that big storm. And I'm looking at the ceiling, I'm like, what? And I never curse, right? So me, I'm like not big. I mean, nothing good or bad. It's just my personality. I just don't.
I handle it. I handle it for you when we're together.
Thank you. Yes, you make it more for me. But that's all that came out of my mouth for like 5 minutes straight when I saw, because I thought I had just fixed the house with everything, and I'm like, oh, And then when we had all that rain and it's coming through the roof, through the attic, through the second floor where the bedrooms and bathrooms are, to the first floor where my whole the living room, family, where everything, kitchen. I was like, huh? And I went into all of that negative for about 5 minutes. And then I said, no, everything is happening for you. And I said it because we have to say it until we feel it, like the body feels it. I'm like, everything is happening for me. I know there's something amazing that's going to be on the other side of this, because I learned that with the divorce and everything. Yeah. It was always a blessing in disguise. Like any negative thing, including that, was a blessing in disguise. And then the roof thing with the leak turned out to be a blessing in disguise. So, and I'm not going to get into why, but it was just, oh my God, like life is so good. It's so good when we let it be. All right.
I know. It's like, just take the pressure off, because it's actually easier when you just step into non-resistance and you're like, okay.
Yeah. Let it go. Right. Let it go.
That frozen girl was on to something.
Let it go. That and the Beatles. Let it be. Let it be.
Totally.
But, and my other thing also is gratitude. When somebody told me a long time ago, back in the 90s, like, just find something to be grateful for, when I was going through all that stuff, and I was like, how can I find something to be grateful for? Like, I have this going on, I have that going on, with the illness. And then I was like, you know what? I can see, I can smell, I have all my senses, and I'm still alive, and I have my family, and I have my amazing friends. And, but I couldn't get there until somebody said, you need to focus on gratitude and getting into appreciation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Huge. And that's the bridge between fear and love. When you're in fear, anything negative, regret, remorse, shame, guilt, anger, resentment, like that's all fear-based. Anxiety, depression, it's all fear-based. So the bridge between fear and love, which is anything positive, enthusiasm, optimism, faith, joy, that's love. And the bridge from fear to love is gratitude. And appreciation has an even higher vibration than gratitude.
And gratitude, what I found for me is, like, if you're in a down mood,
yes, just
immediately, because it's easy to go down that trap of like thinking more of what could go wrong, or it like compounds quickly, where you step into gratitude and you're like, you know what, I'm so thankful for, God, I have a bed, I have food to eat, I have clean water, I can afford to go to a dentist, so I'm not losing my teeth. All this stuff, that just the little stuff that we kind of take advantage of, right? Like you have heat, you have water, and then you're like, wait, what am I pissed off about again? I can't remember. Yeah.
I love this conversation.
So that would be the tip to switching out of a downward spiral. There you go. I just jumped right into it. It's gratitude.
But wait a second. Like Abraham, the one that says everything is happening for you, she also says, you just said something that she says all the time with regard to gratitude. Oh God, he just said it and it just slipped my mind.
Toilet.
No.
The running water, the heat, the bed, all the stuff you can.
Oh, the cool side of the pillow. The cool side of the pillow. She says, just be grateful for the cool side of the pillow. Like, keep it that simple. It doesn't have to be like, get into gratitude. But like, if you keep it general at first, like the cool side of the pillow, that I have a roof over my head. The gratitude is just like, you let go of the resistance and you're just grateful for like things that are just so light. And then eventually you can get into, narrow it down. So I want
Exactly.
you to give me your tips to switching out of a downward spiral. Like you said, gratitude. Can you go a little deeper?
Gratitude. I mean, exercise is key too.
Yes.
Have you ever seen, and I'm going to butcher it because I've seen it and it's always so funny. It's like, if you're angry, run. If you're
Oh
hungry,
yeah,
sleep. And I'm not saying it right, but it's one of those things. So
I
I think
have it.
another thing is like, go on a walk. Go on a walk, take a nap. I think it's okay to just take 15 minutes if you can and
Right.
just shut your eyes and sleep. They always say sleep on it when you're about to make a big decision or you're upset about something. Just sleep on it. If you feel the same in the morning, then proceed forward. But chances are you're not going to. I feel like our emotions get heightened at night. So
Totally.
especially if you're at night and you're starting to spiral, like take a Unisom or a Benadryl if you have to. Just get your ass to bed. And just because you're gonna feel better. But also if you can go out and walk, be in nature. Another thing is, and I've had people on my podcast that have talked about this, is we are always, and I always in shoes. So if you have a backyard where, I don't do it when I'm in New York City because I don't know what the hell I'd be stepping on.
Grounding.
Just
Yeah.
put your feet in the ground and
Yeah.
just really connect where you can. And I try to remember that because we're so disconnected from Mother Earth at this point. And I'm not a hippy dippy person at all, though I really do love the
Me
fact that
neither, but it is,
microdosing mushrooms are now legal.
but it's science.
I don't do it enough. I need to do it
It's
more. But
science. But what you're saying, grounding, is science. They're showing that it literally takes all the
yes.
electricity from this, and from
Uh-huh.
that and everything else. It'll take all of that and it grounds us. It takes all of that out of our body. Like most people,
Yes.
like, all right, walk around barefoot. Oh, how nice. I'm touching the ground with my feet without realizing that there's a
Energetic
bigger
pull.
purpose. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've got grounding sheets. So there's so many things you can do. So it's like you have the ability, if you're just like frustrated, but set your alarm for 15, 20 minutes and just freaking lay down. Literally, just that is good. Go outside and just walk around the block. Go walk if you're in an office. Go walk and get a Starbucks. Go walk and get a done, whatever it is for you, or just walk and get something. You're going to feel better. You're going to start to reset. But also, that gratitude is key. And then if you can take your shoes off, do not take your socks and shoes off and stand in the grass in New York City, though. I'm sorry. No, just you don't know what you're going to catch, what needle you're going to step on.
Right. My
Go visit
backyard
your
is
friends
good.
in the burbs in my house. I remember.
You're so funny. You're so funny. So I live on Long Island. So if you have a place on Long Island, you have a backyard, a nice backyard,
Yes,
go out there or go to
exactly.
a park, make sure that, everything is copacetic in the little area when you sit down on a bench and that it's a decent area to sit and
Yes.
just
And I have
ground.
a dog. I have a dog. I mean, I'm very lucky. I have a family I have that takes care of this dog when I'm in New York, and they love her like their own. So she goes between she's with my parents in the Adirondacks right now, living her best life, and she'll go back to my brother's. And then when I'm in Denver, I take her. But I remember one day I was taking a business call. I said, "Oh, I'm going to take it from my parents' backyard, and I'm going to be grounded, and it's going to be great."
Oh no.
Well,
Oh
you got to
no.
look down because I was standing in her shit. And I had to do the call, so here I am with just I'm like, "Well, thank God there's not a smell detector." I feel like that's gonna come at some point. They can smell you through the camera.
Right.
But they couldn't. But yeah, so that was it. And but it was
That's
a
funny.
funny moment. I said, "I don't know if grounding counts if you step in,"
No, I don't know.
you know?
I have
Yeah.
no idea. No
So
idea.
definitely, especially if you have a dog, make sure you look down where you're stepping first.
Yes, I do too. And yes, with regard to grounding, like I know where Molly usually goes, so she's got her little
Yeah,
area. But yes, I look down, make sure the area is nice and clean.
exactly.
But it's
Exactly.
super, super important and it's so cool. The other thing I love to do is mirror work. Like look in the mirror. If you're just having like a
Yeah,
day like,
that's a great
oh
idea.
God, right? Like look at with the I am, it's so powerful. So
True.
powerful. Like whenever, and for everybody listening, whenever we say I am, whatever
Mhm.
follows that is literally who you are and what you're becoming. So it's so powerful. So and when we do the mirror work, we should stand about 6 feet from the mirror because it gets rid of all those, like if you're too close, you see all the blemishes and you're focused on every little thing that's wrong with your face.
Right, now you got more problems than you started with.
Right. So if you stand 6 feet from the mirror, whatever's going on with our eyes, the ocular, like it gets rid of all that, and it's a much better thing. But then we say you are. So you look in the mirror and you're like, you are this and you are that, you know, so you're talking to yourself, which is your higher self, your soul, you know, and it's so powerful because we can set our own state, right? We can change our state of mind. We can shift it when we're in the funk, in the thick of it. And these are the things that we can do. So thank you for sharing that.
Of course. Thank you for sharing the mirror technique. I got to do more of it.
Oh God, there's so many things. Literally setting your own state. When I wake up in the morning, and I started doing this when I was in the fear, lack, and scarcity during the divorce, when I would wake up like, you know, and fall asleep like, and somebody said, it's not about how you fall asleep at night, it's how you wake up in the morning. I'll never forget it. I don't know who said it, but I was like, he's right. Like when I'm waking up in the morning, is my day, am I lit up about my day? Did I create a day I'm like, oh, I'm excited to get out to that, you know, or is it like Dullsville again? And oh God, I hate my job and life sucks. Am I waking up to that? Because we have the power and control over what we choose to create for our life regarding work and life in general. So I wake up like, thank you, God, number one, just for waking up. And then I'm like, I have 16 hours of pure potential, 16 hours of endless opportunity in front of me today. I'm so excited to see the people, place, and things that God, the universe, you know, will put in my life today. And I truly emotionalize that mantra or that incantation. Cause I'm like, I say it, I mean it. I'm so excited about it. And I'm loud about it. You know, my kids probably think I'm crazy, but I'm super excited about it. And you can set your state.
Because I feel like so many people actually wake up with like, oh my God, it's gonna be such a long day. I'm exhausted.
Right. Especially
I've got all this stuff to do. I woke up elated that I just didn't have to wash my hair this morning.
Your hair looks so good. I was telling
Madison, I wish I was promoting it so I could get paid on it.
I know. Well, you should send them the video. I was telling Madison before we came on, I'm like, your hair looks amazing. Because I'm so used to seeing your hair straight and pulled back, right? Off your face.
Yes.
That's I'm so used to that. So when he came on, I was like, ooh, I love that. Like it looks so pretty. You look pretty anyway.
What was it? Bigger the hair, the closer to God. So I'm always like,
yes.
Okay, here we go.
That was my hair in the 80s. That literally was my hair in the 80s. Exactly what you just did. That was my friend. I'll never forget my friend Jack. We had a Hampton house. It was either the Hampton house that we all had, a bunch of my friends, guys and girls, we get like a Hampton house together for the summer, or hunt a mountain, you know, where they would ski. I would be like, see ya. I'll be in the lounge because it's too cold out there. But Jack would be like, do we have to wait for her hair to get any bigger? I'm blowing with the diffuser and everything else with the gel and the whole thing, you know, I'm like, I'll just be 5 more minutes. But it looks terrific. All right, let's talk about breaking past fears that hold you back, because so many people are thrown back on their heels based on the fear of poverty, you know, fear of loss, fear of loss of love, like we talked about before. So much fear going on, you know, in life. And with the pandemic, post-pandemic, everybody was so afraid of people dying. I mean, it was literally like, it doesn't get any worse than everything we went through during the pandemic. Nobody in my lifetime, my parents' lifetime, they're 83 and 84 years old, nobody experienced anything like that pandemic. Isolation. I mean, like, come on. Masks, nobody could see each other. Nobody, are you smiling? And then people would just smile with like the bright eyes, like, like you knew they were smiling.
I know. I didn't
Crazy.
wear a mask. I didn't wear a mask. I did not want to. And I mean, I wear it when I had to, if I was going to get kicked out. But I just couldn't do it. I got yelled at so many times. I just started laughing every time. I was like, what? I'm out. What? But no, but breaking past those fears that are holding you back. I think write down what it is your goals are. Okay. This is a great exercise.
Yeah.
And then write down next to it or below it, whatever works for you, the fears you have around accomplishing that.
Ooh,
that's where you're going to start getting some interesting stuff to come out. Okay. And then identify those fears, because once you can really identify those fears, you'll be able to create the strategy that will break free from them from holding you back. Sometimes we subconsciously don't realize what the fears are that are preventing us from taking action towards the goal. So when
Right.
you do, this is what I want, or this is the life I want to live, then identify, well, why am I not living it now? What are the fears? Is it a fear of failure? Is it a fear of success? Is it a fear of what other people think? Is it a fear of rejection? And
Right.
then write down more about what those fears look like. Because once you can identify them and work on them, you can release those. And not fear is an illusion. It actually doesn't
Totally.
exist. The only place it exists is in our mind. So if your fear is fear of rejection, whether it be romantically, business, friends, whatever it is, start doing something every day that gets you rejected, right? It could be as simple as asking somebody for, hey, I forgot my subway pass. Can you swipe me in? Hey, do you have an extra $1 for me? Things that people are probably going to say no to.
Oh, yeah.
And when they're like,
Oh,
no, you start
right.
to lessen that rejection, right? Like if you're in a
Right.
bar and you see somebody opposite sex that you're attracted to, and you're only if you're single, don't do it as if you're committed
Right.
relationship.
We're not
That
advocating that
doesn't
at
make
all.
you a good person. But if you're single, you go up to them and just say, hey, like aim to get rejected. Just be like, hey, I think you're attractive. I think you and I should talk. What do you
Yeah.
think about that? You'd be surprised. And if they say no, you're already planning on it anyways. You're gonna be like, that wasn't so bad. My God, that wasn't my person.
I
Let's go
love
see
it.
it with somebody else versus staring at them awkwardly across the bar. And they're like, who is this freak show over there? Like, are they trying to stalk me or eat me? Don't do that. Just go
Right.
and have a damn conversation.
I love it. And Robert Kiyosaki and my friend Sharon Lechter wrote a book, a whole series, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, in the
Oh, I
90s.
love it. Yeah.
That rocked the world. And they would say that they was like Robert, the book was based on Robert, even though Sharon wrote it with him, was based on his story. So Robert Kiyosaki, who is a real estate mogul, he would say
Yeah.
he loved getting no's. Like he would get on the phone trying to do a deal and he loved getting no's because he knew the yes was going to be a big yes when it happened. And persistence is everything.
Great
So
way to think about it.
get really okay with being rejected. Who cares? You know, you don't quit. You just persist until you get that yes. And I
And
always say rejection is God's protection, you know? So
yes,
if you're
it
not meant
is.
to have it, it wasn't the divine choice. It wasn't meant for you. But this
Exactly.
book, and Sharon did not ask me to hold this up, but Sharon
What is
Lechter
that?
she wrote she annotated Outwitting the Devil, and it's Napoleon Hill's
Ooh,
book. Napoleon Hill wrote this book around the same time as Think and Grow Rich, which you and I are very, very, very astute in that book,
yeah.
experts in that book. So because it had the word devil in it, his family didn't want him to publish it. They just he couldn't publish it. So it went generation to generation to generation, and nobody wanted it published because it said the word devil in it. So a couple of years ago, they just gave it to a friend of mine, Don Green, who runs the Napoleon Hill Foundation. Don hired Sharon to annotate the book. It is such a good book on why there's fear, how to get past the fear. And when you understand why fear my energy clearer says she channels makes some of the most fearless person that she meets, that she's ever met. I don't like the energy of fear. I just feel like I might be thrown back on my heels and I get out of that and you stay solution oriented. But in Outwitting the Devil, and if you listen to it, there's two actors. One played Napoleon Hill and one played the devil. And I listened to it on the plane on the way to Arizona. I was like, oh my God, the devil was so perfect at the acting part. So it said that when Napoleon Hill asked the devil in an interview, because that's what Outwitting the Devil is, it's an interview, how do you prey on people, to get them in fear and all that, in fear. And the devil said, and the devil could be fear. It could just, it doesn't have to be the red thing in hell with the fire and the pitchfork. It could just be the fear in your mind. So the devil said, when people are drifting, when people don't have a definiteness of purpose, when they're just drifting through life without any purpose, and life is driving them and they're all over the place, the devil, the fear, loves to go in there and just take over. So the way to outwit the devil is figure out what you want in life, right? Figure out what your vision is,
right? Your souls.
Yes, because those without a vision shall perish. That's what it says in the Bible. Write out a vision, you have your definiteness of purpose, and then every decision you make throughout the day is in line with that destiny.
Amen. Yes.
Speaking of that, because that's how we manifest as well. When we know exactly what we want and we take the steps to get there, we're manifesting. So I want to talk about your book.
Yes, my newest creation.
Calling Your Way to Abundance. And it's a 21-day manifesting guide for wealth, health, and love. And I started this and I love it. So it's 21 days on wealth. It's 10 different affirmations. The same 10 different affirmations for the 21 days with something you write at the bottom. So you have them actually like implementing what it is regarding the affirmations. And then another 21 days of 10 different affirmations for health.
Yeah, there's 5. There was 10. I was like, this is going to take people way too
5.
long.
I'm sorry, 5.
But they're the same ones. And I did that because it's like 21 days to create a habit.
Yes.
And then I would tell clients like, okay, write out your affirmations in the present tense and feel them. But I realized that people, and myself included, would stop because you get distracted. Your hand would start to hurt. But when you color, you're more present, you're calm. That's why people tend to doodle when they're stuck on a phone call or something, or a conference call, because it's therapeutic. Okay. You feel like you're
out of your own head. Yeah.
So if you're present with the coloring, that's why we had such a rise in adult coloring books. And you're manifesting. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Just blew the lid off manifestation. So I said, I have got to come up with this. And I wanted to focus on those 3 pillars of health, wealth, and love. And you can do, eat one a day. You can do it for 21 days if you've got a lot of time and color in all of them, or you can pick 1 or 2 of let's say the wealth affirmations. You can pick 1 or 2 and just focus on those. Really hone it in and then move on to the other ones 21 days later. But when you're constantly really present and you're saying it in your head or out loud, wealth is my birthright. Wealth is my birthright. By the time you finish focusing or coloring that affirmation, you've said it 15 to 20 times. Right. And that starts to reprogram the subconscious, but you have to consistently do it 21 days. That's why I did it day 1, day 2, all the way up until 21. So Color Your Way to Abundance. It's available on Amazon. Definitely check it out. It's a new, I'm very excited, not just because it's my own, but I know that this was something that helped me. And this is going to be such a breakthrough from coaching thousands of people and telling them how to do certain things. That this was the breakthrough. That was needed.
I love it. And we only have about a minute left and time goes so fast with you. So fast. So I want everybody to run out there. I actually asked Madison I have clients that I know that this is going to help big time. I'm a life coach. Everybody knows, a global leading life coach and business strategist. And I love doing what I do. Absolutely love it. And I know this is going to help my clients that struggle with, whether it's a love mindset or a wealth mindset or a health mindset. It's so helpful. And so thank you. Thank you for doing that, because not only did you help me, but you're going to help my clients through me as we send your work to them. Yeah. So let's quickly talk about your free gift and your weekly personal email. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. So definitely you guys reach out to be added to the email list. Madison at madisonmalloy.com is where you can contact me. You can also go to next to madison.com, which will automatically, it has a pop-up where you can sign up for the email list. I'm sending Monday motivational emails. And I'm also going to have a free giveaway that I will be announcing very shortly. That's going to just be kind of a cheat sheet to bring in more abundance into your life. So you can email me for that. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Real Madison Malloy, TikTok at Real Madison Malloy. I'm always trying to put on fun little videos that will help brighten and inspire your day. So please like, share, check out the podcast, all that good stuff. I have another book, Time to Lighten the F Up. You can check that out as well. But color your way to abundance. I want everybody coloring their way to abundance. It's going to be great.
I love it. And thank you so much, Madison.
Thank you, my dear.
The whole show was about manifesting abundance. Whether, everything that we talked about will help people manifest abundance, whether it's wealth, health, love, like literally everything that we talked about the whole time. I love you. And I could talk to you all day long. So thank you
for having me. And thank you for everyone who's listening now or listening later. We couldn't keep spreading the joy without you guys giving us a chance to help trust us with helping you. So thank you.
That's right. And I'm going to have you back on again because there's so much more that I could talk to you about, talk with you about, there's so much more. You're just a wealth of wisdom, and you're funny and you have so much love to share, and I can't wait to have you back on again. So thank you for being an amazing asset to the Life on Track TV show, to the series.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored.
You're fabulous. You're so good. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Everybody have a magnificent day. And always remember to live onward and upward. Love you.